Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Let's Play Total Annihilation. I'm your host, Neruz,
And I'm Steel Pudding.
and this is Core Mission 5. It was mentioned in the thread that a lot of these missions would have not really a whole lot to talk about, and that I should get a guest commentator. So I've got one.
Yeah, and you looks like you're already surrounded by peewees.
Yeah, the core missions like doing this. This is, in fact, actually I think most of the Galactic Gate missions like doing this. All the ones immediately after you get onto a new planet. As you may notice, we are no longer on Core Prime, we're now on Barathrum.
Yeah.
You tend to start with your commander, a Galactic Gate, and a bunch of enemy units all around you.
Ah.
I had thought to myself it was a cunning time to capture a Peewee, but it turned out to actually be an excellent way to lose half my commander's health whilst trying to capture a Peewee.
Yeah. It looks like you actually did lose.
Yes. Now, Barathrum is kind of a funny planet because, unlike most other worlds, it's actually, I think in the lore, it's given a sort of, it says, well, basically, metal extractors produce some metal. You can see that that one produces 0.5. Because Barathrum's got lots of rich metal in its crust or something, I believe the briefing says.
I don't think I saw the metal spot there, but...
There isn't a metal spot there. Some Barathrum maps have a small, the amount of metal which a metal extractor picks up on a random piece of terrain can be set and changed from map to map. On Core Prime it's set to 100%, but on some maps it's set to some fraction of a percent, and in this particular case it's set to whatever it's set to causes metal extractors to produce half a metal per tick. Oh, and there's an Moho mine.
Oh, nice.
As I'm about to find out, that's a lot of red on the map right there.
Yeah, it's a pretty big base.
Yeah, this is an interesting map. They start you sort of in the middle, and I think you're supposed to go down to the south and build your base down there. Because I think my scouting Peewee is going to reveal a bunch of metal spots which just aren't doing anything and whatnot. I decided to go up, and as you can see, I'm building my base just a teensy bit out of line of sight of the enemy base.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, but...
Hey, it makes life interesting.
Yeah.
Fortunately
Makes
for
a
once...
better Let's Play.
Well, fortunately on most of these missions, because you only start with the commander, the AI isn't too aggressive at the start, so you can get away with nonsense like this.
Yeah.
But I have to say, when that radar went up, there was a bit of a moment of... Fuck!
Yeah. I can see why. Because...
For some inexplicable reason, they also give you aircraft on this map, but don't make no mention of it whatsoever in the briefing.
And you haven't gotten them before.
No, I haven't, and in fact, later on I think I build a aircraft plant and start producing some fighters, but the mission ends up being over before I actually do anything with them, because aircraft just aren't really useful in this mission.
Yeah,
I was actually kind of surprised, because I thought that there was like a little thingy where it would announce, you know, you've got aircraft, and then you'd have an aircraft-centric mission. That's usually the way they do that. I know that's the way they do it with the ARM when they arrive on whatever desert planet they were coming up to, and the Navy. But apparently in the core missions, no, they're just going to sneak it in there.
Fair enough. What's the role of Galactic Gate in this mission?
Absolutely nothing. Galactic Gates are completely and totally inert.
Nice.
In fact, although I think you can reclaim them for some resources if you're feeling like it, but it takes forever.
Yeah, I bet you get a lot of metal.
I don't remember if they do have metal cost or not. I know commanders have a metal and energy cost, but I don't know if galactic gates do. I would assume they do.
Oh no,
Oh,
we've been attacked.
yeah, we've got a bunch of zippers. My commander's got a D-gun.
Yeah.
I've lost my radar. Now, if you're looking really carefully, you may have noticed some red dots in a very peculiar position. I'm not quite sure how they got there, but they're about to come up from behind me, as we see our little Pee-wee friends, and I'm going, what the fuck? Because I don't know where they came from. And I was watching the minimap, and I still don't know where they came from.
Maybe they were there from the start.
Yeah, I think that the map designers must have hidden some peewees down there and then scripted them to charge up and attack you out of nowhere. That was not a nice surprise at all. And at this point I've decided, fuck this shit, and now I'm building slashes.
Yeah,
Gloves are off.
Time to slash it up.
Yeah, gloves are off. I've had enough of these arm shenanigans. Yes, well, while we watch me slowly rebuild my base, go back to galactic gates briefly. In a original base, I believe in earlier versions of the game, the galactic gate was intended to be a buildable structure. In fact, the models have weapons on them. I think the core one's got a laser tower and the arm one's got a rocket launcher or something. I believe that's how it works. I have no idea what purpose the galactic gates were originally going to serve, maybe some kind of resource generator or a teleporter or what, but obviously that was cut. It's interesting to note that they retained the model and used it for the galactic gates in the campaign, even if they do completely nothing.
You got tired of that scout.
Yeah, that Pee-wee is flying up and down, and I got a bit sick and tired of it, so I've decided to kill it. This turns out to be kind of more difficult than I expected.
Yeah, because they're not hitting anything.
No. Silly me, I'm sitting here trying to engage the Pee-wee at the part where it's in its flight where it's the hardest to hit. It's at maximum speed, it's not turning, it's going in a straight line. And rather than do something intelligent, like move my slashes down a bit so that they can attack it while it's turning, I decide that I'm just going to put more slashes under there.
They're getting some target practice. And hitting.
Well, I'm peppering missiles everywhere. If I'm lucky, they'll hit something.
Soon enough.
There you go, see, that one nearly hit my construction vehicle.
Yeah, they hit something at least. So you got all the rest of the map and...
Yeah, it turns out that on this map, apart from that little Pee-wee assassination squad hidden somewhere down there, all the armed stuff is just squished up in the top right corner. It's really not a very threatening map at all.
Yeah, sounds like a typical AI maneuver.
Yeah, I don't really understand what they were trying to do with this map. This is a peculiar map. I think the ARM introduction to Barathrum is much better. The core introduction is just kind of... It kind of feels like they sort of planned the campaign for the ARM and then they did the core campaign, and so they've gone, oh right, so where does the core commander go after he's left Core Prime? Oh, well, it goes to Barathrum, because that's where the ARM commander went before he went to Core Prime. So what does he do in Barathrum? Oh, who gives a shit, he's the core commander.
Building bases and destroying arms.
See, I've added a bunch of missile towers to my attempt to kill the Pee-wee. The Peeper, and as you may notice, still not getting anywhere. Although, ooh, I managed to hit it. Look, it's flashing on the minimap. I hit it with something.
I can see that. You got yourself some pulverizers.
Yes, I've decided that I'm going to add missile towers to my attempts to kill the Peeper.
And still they're doing absolutely terribly.
At some point, I do realize that all I need to do is send like one slasher just south a bit.
God. Again?
Oh look, now I'm being attacked. That's going to take precedence.
So... The slashers gotten hit.
Yes, they got poked a bit. I think there's like a group of K-bots wandering around to the west of the base, and one of my slashers got a bit too close. I did finally get the peeper though. I'm not sure how though. I don't know what killed it. And the arm appears to be trying to flank me. Sneaky bastards. Look at this.
Tactics.
They sent 2 hammers around the side to try and get at me from where... See? Look at that. Oh, 3 hammers.
They've still got a problem though.
Yeah, it's about now that I realise, oh hey, those hammers are actually just going to walk right past my missile towers. At which point, the hammers turn around and walk back into the missile towers. So, I don't know, got lucky there.
Yeah. Nice tactics.
Oh yes, and during all that, the computer took the opportunity to snipe my construction vehicle. Sneaky little bastard. And now he's just going to attack my defences.
Okay.
And then at about this point, I throw a temper tantrum and decide to build a whatever the core version of the Punisher is. It's like the...
It is the...
No, it's the Punisher, yes, the Guardian, yes. I decided to build a Punisher because I basically threw a temper tantrum at that point because the AI destroyed my defences again. And I'm coming in for another bloody blow. And then I discover the AI's got laser towers, so that doesn't even slow me down at all. I thought, no, okay, this is the point where I slow down. He's got 2 laser towers.
Yeah. I wonder if he's got some guardians over there. Nah.
I don't think so. In fact, I seem to remember that the armed forces in general on this map are kind of pathetic. Like, the only real reason I've been having any trouble with them is because I went and sort of built my base right next to theirs. But, if I hadn't done that, it really wouldn't have been anything like an issue. I think that Bulldog is the sum total of their advanced forces.
And Bulldogs are terrible.
Look at this! Rocco Assassination Squad. The hard AI seems to be a lot more proactive about hunting down your commander. I don't know whether that's changes in the map scripting or what, but I've noticed on the hard maps I keep getting these little groups of dudes charging up and trying to roast my commander while I'm not looking.
Yeah, that's part of what the commander AI does.
It's going to make it the later ARM missions interesting because the core have got access to a number of units that if they surprise my commander they can just outright kill them.
Yeah. Are you building AKs?
Nope.
Really?
Definitely not building AKs, don't know what you're talking about.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure. No, I'm pretty sure. I'm sure I'd remember building something like AKs. That's ridiculous.
Oh. Then I must have seen wrong.
I'm sure you're just seeing things.
Yeah. That would be silly to build AKs.
Much to my surprise, that laser tower is still there.
Oh.
Apparently saw some K-bots.
Tier 1 K-bots are very, very disappointing.
They are. They really are. Especially compared to vehicles.
Yeah.
If you actually check the minimap, you might note that there is shit all units left. If you notice that, I actually haven't noticed that at this moment. I think I'm still fighting a battle against this sort of great big arm base right there. So I decided to check my advanced K-bots, and oh, I don't really have any advanced K-bots, so...
Spectre and Pyro. Is that a radar jammer or
the other advanced, that's that's the radar jammer, I believe. Yes, that's the radar jammer.
Okay.
And there we go, nice friendly fire at my construction vehicle, while my plasma cannon pounds away at that chunk of terrain. It's gonna die.
Nice aim there. Always
So
nice aim when you're
I still haven't noticed that there is literally like 2 arm units left in the entire game. So I'm constructing this radar to see the rest of the hidden arm base. And, oh, there isn't any hidden arm base. There's nothing. In fact, they have a construction K-bot and a K-bot lab. That's it.
Okay.
So I'm just like, well, alright then.
Punishing them.
Well, I'm actually at a bit of a loss, because I was sort of starting to get geared up for a proper siege and everything. And then I'm looking at the radar, I'm like, is there really only 2 units left?
Talk about disappointing.
This map is very disappointing. And then I decide, fuck it, and I use the AKs and just send them up there.
They could have at least had some kind of thing down the map. But like,
yeah, it was... This map was quite disappointing. I was expecting a lot more. I was expecting this map to be a lot longer. Like, I think if I'd known what I was doing, and I wasn't doing this level pretty much completely blind because I had no clue what everything was, I could have probably had this done in about 10 minutes. It really wasn't a very interesting level.
well, I think your starting was interesting. That made it.
It was.
Those are definitely AKs.